You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey, folks, welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I know who I am.
And he
You know who that
looks
is.
like a before picture.
Before and after?
William. Hey.
You sure? Okay.
I'll have to introduce you if you want to introduce yourself.
That's fine.
I'll do it.
I'm here just for you folks.
Woo.
We're a podcast about...
How we game.
Yeah, see?
Yes, how we
Yeah,
game.
we'll go finish that off.
There we go. Trademark Beans and Dice.
Coming to you live from Studio...
B is in Bean.
B. Okay, I can't remember if it's B or C.
We are
for
the
Carlos,
Beans.
Or, yeah, all right.
We are the Bean. You are the Beans. All of y'all watching at home.
Yeah?
And we give it to the Beans. A lovely live stream call-in show today.
This is new. Yeah? Okay. Thursday night Carlin show?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't heard this before, but that's
Yeah,
the thing.
I know.
Just
He's
go
just-
with it.
he's
He's
just-
just making it up off the top of his
Listen,
head. Yeah.
Folks, here you go. Bill Paxton here. I live and everything. Here you go.
Cornucopia of Bean. Anyway.
Phone number is 813-618-7099. I am your host, Carlos.
Yeah.
Today, with our guest host, we're going to talk to you about games that we've been playing, things that we've been up to and buying and looking at, and hopefully hearing from you about the same things. You call in, talk to us about what you've been buying, playing, liking, looking at, enjoying, and we'll have a discussion. Tell us why we're wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I can.
No, well, that's what we have you here for.
Yeah, I can tell you why you're wrong.
You tell us why we're wrong.
Constantly.
All
Anyway.
right, phone line's open. So let's talk a little bit about games that we've been playing. We had our recent game day,
Yeah, last Saturday.
the Saturday holiday game day.
It was first Saturday,
I
right?
walked away with more than I walked away with too much stuff.
Yeah, we did a game exchange, I guess, just to get into that. So that was the big thing that I think drew a lot of people. We had 20 people, I think. So that's pretty average for us. We're normally between about 18 and 25.
Well, pre-COVID, we were getting in the upper 20s,
yeah, or mid to upper 20s.
mid to upper
sometimes, but
20s,
yeah.
and 20 is still good post-COVID.
Yeah, and we knew this time we had announced that we split our game day this month, I think because of all the holiday things. Everybody couldn't make it to the normal one, so several people had mentioned they couldn't make it, and so we split to two, so we did back-to-back Saturdays. So this is the first time we've done two game days in 1 month, but for each one we've announced that we have done, and in the next one we'll be doing a game exchange, and we like the idea of, got a call coming in already. Let's hold that thought.
Mitchell.
Beans and Dice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
It's Mitchell from.
Yes, the ching.
Will called it. Yeah. Hey, Mitchell, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. What about you guys?
Doing okay. I played some games this week, and it looks like you did too. I saw you posted some stuff up.
When is he never posting any games?
Yeah, I know. Every week,
I think he's out.
every week he's got to outdo us. Yeah,
Listen,
gotta stay
he
ahead.
knows the assignment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Play games and report back.
I understand the.
I think yes, he understands the assignment. I think that's one of the rules for joining the Beans and Dice community
Yeah.
on Facebook
Well, at least that's
that you will post up.
it's the stated rule. Yeah.
I put it on there.
Yeah.
You will post up and share your gaming plays. Like I want people to share their gaming. So back to Mitchell. Talk to us about what you've been up to.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess the big news is the new Tapestry expansion. I know, and I've already had this discussion in the Facebook group. This group isn't a big fan of Tapestry, but I did play the new expansion that just came in, that just was released. The pre-order started a week ago yesterday, and so I got it very quickly on Monday night and played it on Tuesday. Got 3 plays in to feel out all the new content.
Okay. Then tell us all about it.
Yeah, sure. So the first Tapestry expansion I wasn't a huge fan of just because it was mostly more of the same. I don't mind more of the same, but I don't get super excited about it. The only thing that the first expansion, Plans and Ploys, added was that was new content, was like these objective cards that you get to pick. Like once you accomplish this, you would get a building for your mat. And it added ways to use the mechanics in different ways. Like you could use Tapestry cards or technology cards to get buildings, but more of the same. So this expansion I really liked, added some new things. The big news is that there's a big new track called the Art track, which that's me, I'm a theater teacher. But even though I'm not really big on theme, the mechanics of it are kind of interesting as well. The core concept of this track is that you can create masterpieces. And what these masterpieces do is they basically upgrade your player board. So I know you guys haven't played Tapestry a ton, but essentially the game lasts as long as you can stretch it, and throughout the game you have 5 income turns, and you kind of everybody gets the same starting things, and as you place out buildings, you can start getting more things, but you're all getting the same more things. But with this, it allows you to customize and add extra things to the board that you gain.
Like how he explains it, just like Rob.
Yeah. Good stuff.
What do you mean, just like Rob?
You say things. If it was Carlos, like you get.
Right, I would get very specific and tell you
get chits,
the theme that goes with it.
Chits you put on the board.
Rob would say you get blue cubes and yellow cubes. I was just gonna ask you, what are the things?
Yeah, I knew it.
That it changes.
I was looking at Carlos' face
that you
like,
get.
He's not going to say what it is.
I saw the little overlays.
Yeah, so you can get resources. I'm sure there are names for them, but I call them stars.
High five.
You know,
man.
You can get victory points.
Yeah, there
I'm
you
not
go.
answering your question, am I, Carlos?
That's the only thing that's important. You're with me. Go ahead. I got you.
It's okay. That is the theme of Tapestry. Is
Nothing.
the abstraction of theme.
Do things to get things.
Oh, there you go.
And
There
get
you
some
go.
points. Yeah.
All right, so
anyway,
you get new things.
there are new things on the track. So you can upgrade kind of what you make it so that only you get these certain things. There's also another ability that says, hey, immediately gain these things instead of waiting for your income turn, or gain somebody else's things. And there's also these little, so you know that the income buildings where as you pick up the different buildings, you get those things underneath.
Yep.
You can also upgrade what's underneath them as well. So it's all about making your mat better, which I thought was pretty cool. Now, probably my favorite new thing, which is it's a theme thing, so I'm surprised I liked it. All the new buildings are references to other Stonemaier games.
Ah.
It's really cool. He had mentioned that there was going to be like a one from Between Two Castles and one from Viticulture, but I didn't know like each one corresponds to a different game. It's pretty cool what I was taking out and realizing.
I wonder if this.
About the
I was going to say, I wonder if this is going to be a new thing for Stonemaier, because
It
obviously
started with Rolling Realms.
He has all about all of the other games, and so I wonder if he's going to start adding more this cross-pollination, these nuggets from other games, to maybe encourage people to go and, hey, that's kind of cool. I like that. Let me go try viticulture. Let me go
marketing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all like cross
But
marketing.
even more than just marketing on the games he currently has, it's also nostalgia because you're nostalgia.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be thinking about the games you do love. Like Mitch is probably going to look for the things that tie into viticulture.
Sure. Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah. I mean, not just Viticulture. I like most of my games, but yeah.
Yeah. All the way back to Euphoria and all those. Yeah.
That's a great aspect you picked up on that.
Yeah, so just very briefly, the plays itself, what we did was we took all the new cards of different kinds and we put them on top of the deck, so we knew we would cycle those first. And it took us 3 games to cycle through all of them.
Wow.
The first time, what I tried doing was, I'm just going to play my game like normal, and I'm going to use this new material as it's expedient to me. And I got stomped in that first game. So I was playing with Connor. It definitely seems like if you're playing with that track, you can't ignore it. So the next game, I did the opposite. I said I'm going to focus on this track no matter what, even if it doesn't seem like the best thing. And I got the highest score I've ever gotten in the game.
Wow.
And then the third game, me and Connor were like, okay, well, let's see what happens if we both really push this and we have more of a similar score. So it's definitely something that you can't ignore. We learned that. It definitely extends the game. I've talked about this a little bit in the group. I know I play quickly, but me and Connor can usually bang out a 2-player game of Tapestry in probably about 45 minutes. It probably took us about an hour and 15 for each game because you have more choices to make about which of those cards you're adding to your board, and your income turns are taking longer because you're having to make those decisions about what to gain, and then your advancement turns are taking longer because you have more things to spend. And one last thing, I know I've been ranting for a long time. They have also advanced capital city mats, which I know you guys said was like your least favorite part, where you're building a city. But what I like about it is they have a different colored back, and the way it works in the rule book is you get your capital city mat, and then you get an advanced one, and you can choose, do I want to go basic or advanced? So if you do the advanced ones well, you can get a lot more points, but it's like you don't want to do that if you're a new player. So even with the expansion in, it's a little bit more newbie friendly. So I think it's definitely one that I will always play with. I wouldn't want to go back without it now that I realize, what happens, it makes it less stale. I've played a lot of Tapestry, and it started getting a little old for me, but it freshened it back up. So I really enjoy it.
That's good. I mean, that's what you always hope for an expansion, that one way or another, the expansion is going to get make the game a little fresh again, give you something new, something different to do, or something different to look at, so that might renew the interest, get that spark back. But I do want to touch back on the length of the game. That was something we had some chat in the chat with you about online, and I know Carlos and I have talked about it, and we postulated that maybe some of our fact that we don't love the game was because of the length, and I think we both played it a couple of times. I think, Carlos, you played a couple times?
A few more than that. I've given it at least 4 tries.
Okay, I think I've played 2 or 3.
And you don't like it?
And William, how many times have you played?
I won't play it.
You haven't played it at all?
I
Okay.
haven't played it all. I'll give it one shot. But
Listen, it's not that I don't like it. I'm upset because I don't love it.
Yeah.
Like, that's what bothers me the most is I don't
Yeah, to
love
me
it.
it's good, but it's not great. And with the time investment that
What's
we've
the
had...
least amount of players that you guys have played?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask Carlos.
3 or 4.
I've never played... I think the 2 games I've played were 4 and 5.
No, it was 4 and 5. Yeah, 4 and 5. I don't
yeah.
think less than 4.
With 5, it's way too long. I agree
Yeah.
with you guys there.
Okay.
You need to play a 2 or 3 player game to give it another shot. Just like we were talking about with Zaya in the group.
Yeah.
It's a game, you got to do it with 3.
Yeah, that's a game we'll touch on in a few minutes. But yeah, that was part of my gaming experience on Saturday was Zaya, and I won't get into the details now.
is
But
it the game's fault, or is it just a bad game? Because
No, it's
Tapestry or
partly my fault. I'm a Civ lover.
Like you said, like if it take too long, is a game get bad because you add more
Well,
players?
and the reason I question that is because of Mitchell's group. Mitchell's here with us today to talk about that. And I think your buddy, oh man, he loves Tapestry. Why did I forget his name? Connor commented in maybe the Discord or one of the groups about how they can get it done in like an hour. You know, their bigger games are done in less than 2. So it's like, is it us overthinking the game and just not letting it do what Jamie tries to do with most of his games, which is 1 action per person, fast, go around the table. Maybe we're not letting that happen, and it slows it down, then it drags, then it feels like, I got to give it another try.
yeah, and so we've talked about maybe
Tapestry is
just 2 or 3.
quick. I mean, you spend a resource and do an action, boom, done. And then the only thing that takes a long time is whenever you're like resetting, which is those 5 turns that you get resources. Other than that, for us, it's super quick. So I don't know what y'all experience is
that or we're maybe too diversified in our tracks, right? Because the end game conditions is it 3 tracks being completed?
No, the end game
No, it's the third.
Once everybody finishes,
Right, all the
runs out of
ages.
resources.
Yeah, exactly. Runs out of resources in that last stage. But let me jump in here before I forget. So I think, again, the length of play, the having 5 players just naturally is going to make it longer because you're going to have longer between turns. That's the obvious part. But now that you mentioned that we talked about this a little bit, it just hit me that I think another part of it is when you're playing with 2 or 3 players, like you probably most of your experiences, Mitchell, is when you've got those 4 tracks, there's less people out there, and so there's a little bit less to think about, I think, that way. When you have 4 or 5 players, people are advancing on all of those tracks, and when it gets to you, I think sometimes you have really tough decisions to make because
and a lot more of the board state has changed.
Right. And somebody's ahead 3 spots ahead of you on one track and 2 spots ahead of you on another track, and then you got to start making hard decisions about, okay, am I going to chase that guy? Am I going to chase that girl? Am I going to do that strategy? I think
Achievement, Robert, that's a great theory.
I thought, yeah. So I think when you're playing with 2,
that's a good point.
It's a lot more open. I mean, you're probably in first or second on every track, but when you're playing with 5 people, I felt like I was constantly behind. I was having to make hard decisions on which track am I going to go after, who am I going to try to track down, is that player more likely just to continue pushing that track and I'm never going to catch him. So that it just hit me just as we were talking there, but I think that makes a big difference too. So maybe at 2 or 3, if we get it down to playing 2 or 3, maybe those decisions become a lot easier and a lot quicker.
You are a man of genius. I will crack this beer for you.
Oh, thanks. That's the first time he's ever said that, so I gotta take that.
And
it's recorded too.
To Jamie's credit, I will say that I do like the mechanic where certain benefits can only be stolen from you by your neighbors.
Okay.
Like if you're the first to advance into each age, you get resources that scale with the age. But if someone across the table does it, it doesn't matter. So you really, at least in that aspect, you only have to worry about the 2 people next to you.
Yeah.
So that helps it to an extent. But I see where you're coming from. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really thought about that, but I just know that I've always enjoyed the game on the the smaller side of the board as opposed to the one with 5 islands or 6 islands. however
Sure.
it is.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm looking forward to seeing your review. Congratulations on having Jamie
The interview, yeah.
join you on your results show for the Stonemeyer Best Game,
On Board Game Battles.
Wingspan versus Scythe.
Yeah.
And it's pronounced Scythe, not Scythe.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've always, you know what I did before that interview? Based on your comment, I looked up how to pronounce scythe, and I was like, I've always pronounced scythe this way my whole life, and Google confirmed that you were correct. So,
Oh, and English is not even my first language.
Google. Relying on Google.
I'm just glad that I know that I got, to rent some space in your head, free of charge.
Living in there.
I was living in your headspace for a little while there.
yeah,
Mitch, we appreciate your call every week, man. We really do.
for sure. I enjoy the chat. Real quick before I go, I know you guys are not big on online gaming, but Tapestry is on BGA. If you guys ever want to play a quick 2-3 player game,
We'll do that.
digitally, hit me
That,
up.
you know what?
Let's do that.
And joining his group might be watching them play might okay, so let me analogy or what simile or I don't know, a parallel to your story here. Like I thought I loved Scythe and then I played in that tournament.
Oh, yeah.
That's because you got your butt
You played in a
handed to
tournament.
you. You got,
You thought you were tournament worthy.
yeah.
You were not.
I did not think I was tournament worthy. I just didn't think I was tournament garbage.
Oh, well. no.
yes, you were.
So, but what I'm saying is the people you play with really impact how you like a game. Like I will never look at Scythe the same way again. The way these ladies and gentlemen, all of them, whooped me.
Yeah.
The way they manhandled me, the way they hit me at the right time to put me back 7 turns to never be able to come back again.
It was awesome to watch.
It was
great to watch.
terrible.
It was awesome.
I literally, as soon as that last match was over, I left the server for the Discord.
Uninstall.
I uninstalled Scythe Digital from my computer,
Yeah.
and I just shut it all down and I stared at it.
He did. He cried.
was just-
He wept in the corner for at least half an hour. Yeah.
But that's because of the people that you played with impacted the experience of the game.
You know that's it.
So-
To me, it sounds like it's just something you need to get
Get
better
good.
at.
Get good.
Get good.
Yes, the answer is get good.
Get good. Hey, you suck. Get good.
Yeah.
You jumped
That's
into the
it.
deep
You know what the
end.
other answer is? Control Alt Delete.
Yeah. Uninstall.
So
Yeah,
Mitch,
it really is about who you're playing with. Something that Jamie mentioned in an interview, we asked him if he had a favorite between Scythe and Wingspan. And he said, well, it depends on who I'm playing with and what they want to play. So, poignant comment from you.
Who was
Yeah.
that?
I'll let you guys get back to the show.
Who was that guy
What's
that
that?
we met at Dice Tower that introduced us to Great Western Trail?
oh Greg,
Yeah,
Oh, Greg.
that's a guy who I won't play that game with because he is one of those people. It's like if he plays,
Right.
like, yeah, I'm not.
but
doing well.
he was more friendly about it.
Oh yeah, and Carlos and I discussed that. I mean, we ran into him. He came over. He taught us how to play the game because we had played once or twice. But he's like, oh, well, it's cute what you guys are doing, but let me teach you how to play the game. And then he
Yeah.
revealed to us afterwards the game had been out less than a year, and he told us he'd already logged 110 plays of Scythe or something. So, yeah.
Mitch, you understand when you're playing a game with certain people, you don't go the cutthroat. You kind of loosen up, make some mistakes, right?
No.
No,
not
that doesn't
this
happen.
group.
Oh,
Not this
okay.
group, no.
No.
Well, on that note, hey, great talking to you, buddy. We'll see you next week. Thanks for
I
calling,
don't
Mitch.
want to teach the newbies the wrong way to play. All right,
Yeah.
goodbye.
Have a good night.
That's Mitchell Purtholm from
Yeah.
New Iberia,
That's funny.
Louisiana.
Always count on him for a good time.
Log in and play. I ain't gonna go easy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah, Mitch doesn't go
I take
easy.
it back. I go easy on war games because there's
Ron Fraser's asking what the topic is tonight. Ron, what we're doing tonight is we're going through the games that we played at the Christmas day,
At our
our
monthly
holiday game day,
Yeah.
and talk about the game exchange that we did for the holiday game day,
Mm-hmm.
and then ultimately just taking your calls on what you've been playing, buying, what are you looking forward to,
Yeah.
if you're getting Christmas presents. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah.
Like, holiday presents. What are you looking forward
No
to?
particular topic.
And for those gamers that aren't even doing that, just knowing that all the sales are going on.
Yeah.
What are you buying for yourself?
And let me pause there for a second. Let me just throw this out there. We didn't talk too much about this before, but we have had some debate here in the group. Carlos and I and William have talked about whether or not we should have topics. We've gone back and forth on this. When we started out, our original idea was to have topics, but we didn't do a real good job of. We had a couple, and then we ran out pretty quick. And then we went for I don't know. We've been doing this for over a year now, or a year, and we went probably 6 months where we didn't have topics, and we saw the viewership and the call-in rate fluctuated wildly from, some weeks we'd have just 2 calls, some weeks we'd have 7 or 8 calls. And so we, not too long ago, 4 or 5 months ago, we went back to having topics, and we actually put it out there to the game group and asked people, hey, what's some ideas for some topics? We're going to try this again. We tried it, and we didn't see a big surge in the viewership again. And
Actually, we saw a drop.
Yeah, maybe.
Because there were days when folks said, hey, the topic you chose seemed boring to me, or I don't like rolling right, so I didn't want to call in.
I pretty much just say you should just go with the flow. I've always said it, and I said, you just need to go with the flow.
I think I need to listen to my inner will.
Well,
I
maybe.
hate you, Carlos. Yep, inner will.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Although I don't want to dwell on it too much, but I did just kind of want to throw it out there since it was brought up.
You're welcome, Carlos.
Let us know what you think. Do the viewers, do you out there prefer that we have some kind of topic? We always leave open the option, of course, even if we have a topic, to stray. If people call and they want to talk about what they've been playing, they want to ask us questions.
We will always follow wherever the caller wants to take us.
We're always going to go wherever. But do you prefer to see that we post a topic, a day or two ahead of time that gives us a theme to talk about, or do you not? And we've had some people say, just to kind of give that side, we've had some people say that when we give a topic that they're not interested in, they are really deterred from watching and from calling in because they're just not interested in the topic. They figure they'll skip that week. So that was kind of something that recently had kind of put us off again a little bit on it, and so we thought maybe we'll just go freeform again. But again, I'm curious. I don't want to make the whole thing about it. But let us know.
Well, maybe we have an answer here.
Somebody be calling.
Beats and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
This is Ron Frazier from Atlanta.
Hey, Ron Frazier, how are you?
Good.
Hey, Ron. We're looking for you for topics. What do you got for us?
Wow, we're sad. So sad.
No, I just asked that question because I was just curious. It's interesting the feedback that you got because as somebody that's been lurking on and off for, I guess, the past 6 months, I can see how the people can feel like lukewarm about some of the topics. I kind of felt that way too. And then there was some weeks that was like, ooh, that looks really interesting.
Yeah.
And I never got a chance to call.
Okay.
But there you go.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ron, because it might be your topic, but that week you might have a recital for the kids.
Yeah. Just not being able to call in and you miss it.
Yeah. So it sounds like you guys are settling on a kind of a middle ground where you kind of have something that you want people to talk about, or you encourage people to talk about if they don't have anything else, but also just leaving the door open to talk about whatever's on the mind, particularly gameplays, which I guess the board game podcast is all about.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Playing the game.
Absolutely. That was where this all started for those of you that are newer to listen in or to watch in. That when this all started, Carlos's original idea was we'd go to game night with our group and with our friends, and we'd usually close the shop down, the game shop down at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then we'd have a core group of us who would go out into the parking lot, and we'd stand around our cars, and sometimes we would talk until 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just standing out in the parking lot talking about gaming news, stuff that happened that game nights, new games we had played. And so Carlos was like, you know what? This to me is all about the people. I want to just talk about what people want to talk about. I want to talk about our experiences, games we played. If people have stuff about the news, things they've heard, they just want to chat about. And that's where this whole thing kind of started from. And so, again, that's where we always are going to leave the door open just to talk about what people want to call and talk about. And then, if something strikes us and we go down a rabbit hole, we'll spend the whole episode talking about whatever that is. But when that next caller calls in with a call-in show, we got to be flexible with that. So, chaos. William's all about the chaos over there.
Yeah. So. Dan appreciate that.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite topics is to hear about what other game groups are playing in other parts of the country. So, Ron, what do you have for us? What's your update out of the ATL?
So I actually got a chance to play Star Wars Outer Rim for the first time a couple of weeks ago.
My man.
And I enjoyed it. I have a couple of little nitpicky things about it.
That game does have that.
Which is why I didn't purchase it myself. But
I wouldn't go that far, Ron.
No, it's got some quirks to it.
Well, hey, I only have so much space, and I'm very discriminating when it comes to my game collection.
Okay, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it is. Some of my favorite games, I would say most of my favorite games, I actually do not own. Other folks in my group do.
Neither do we.
He's a unicorn, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting game, and I've heard many people compare it to Zaya, which is another game I know you guys will talk about later, and that's one of my favorite games too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I like its sandboxy nature, although I don't feel like it's as open as Zaya is.
Right.
And also the other thing that I'm nitpicky about is the faction alignment system.
Okay.
Like I wanted a little bit more out of it than just the 3 steps.
Happy,
I
neutral,
get that,
angry.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I felt like there could have been a little bit more done there, but yeah, it's fine. But I really enjoyed it overall. I played it 2 players, and that went pretty well. I actually won. That doesn't happen.
Nice.
Uh,
You said this was your first play. This is the first time you had played it.
This is my first time that I played it. Yeah.
Okay. We had played it when it first came out. Carlos picked it up shortly after it hit the shelves, and
Dice Tower.
was it Dice Tower a few years back? Yeah, and we played it, I'd say 3 or 4 or 5 times pretty quickly after it came out. And one of our biggest things was, where's the expansion?
It needs one.
They're still talking about it.
It needs one bad.
If you play 4 or 5
Right.
times, yeah, you go through those cards and you start seeing the same cards come up, and it gets a little bit oh yeah, I've seen that, I've done that.
I always thought they could have done some things like, why can't I just like buy my way to the scum and villainy? Like, why? That's what they say. Hey, if I have all the money, it's like, hey, you're gonna like me. Here's 10,000 credits. Here. Why can't you just or you can work for the Empire to track down somebody else. There's a lot of things they could have done to make that alignment system a little bit more player interaction, because it didn't feel. That's the part I felt like you played your game, I played my game. You played your game, I played my game. Oh, whoa, something you did 3 turns ago now affects me on the alignment track. It was still fun.
Right.
I would still play it, but
Yep.
I think they just could have done that. Like, they could have literally say, well, Carlos is over there and he's with, he's working for the Hutts, and he's going to pay a little extra money for me to get hunted by these, scum and villainy, faction. Or, Rob is, doing some jobs for the Empire.
Yeah, a little more theme injected.
It could have been something like that in that essence, to where, we could have said, oh, you're winning? Okay, well, here's some money I'm going to pay off somebody to track you down, and just to slow you down. I thought that's what they could have done.
Ron, who did you play?
I played what's that lady?
The Jin?
Jan Ors?
Afra? No.
Not Jan Ors, no.
I played what is it, Dr. Afra?
Oh, the doctor. Yeah, I think she gets like an extra action or something very basic.
Yeah, I forget what her basic
ability
power was, but I enjoyed playing it very much. I played against Jen Urso.
Jen Urso.
Which I like that one because she's going around like blowing stuff up.
Yeah. That was cool to watch. But like I said, it was only one play. I'm gonna give it a couple of more tries here. I mean, it does have a solo mode, so that's a draw for me. And there's an expansion coming some point in time next year. They did announce it at Gen Con, so
okay. Well, there you go.
I saw the announcement, and it's why is it so hard? It's just a card pack.
Yeah,
or it should be
seems
just
like
cards.
It took a long time. Yeah, that was one of the things. Like I say, after 4 or 5 plays, we were like, okay, well, there's a lot of room here to do a lot of stuff. That modular board that's a half circle. I mean, it was almost obvious. Like, okay, you take those 2 end caps off, you make this a circle, you go on the rest of the way around.
And that, I guess, for me, that's one of the things, Ron. I don't know how you felt about the shape of the board and the limited paths around that board. It's one of the things I disliked.
Yeah. I didn't feel any particular way about it. But I can see that.
Because you get some card and it's like way far away, and you're like, really? That's where I have to go?
Yeah. I guess
this is space. I should be able to cut right across this.
right.
Wow.
A wormhole or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. NASA
But, you know,
engineer
you got,
over there.
you know, this is Star Wars. They got Starlane, so
Yeah.
There's certain paths you have to travel if you want to travel safely.
Exactly.
Or you'll end up running into an asteroid or something.
It's funny you bring this one up, and I had just recently pulled it off my game shelf, put it on my table because I was trying to think, is my 14-year-old ready for this level of game?
Oh yeah, I think so.
14 years old?
Yeah.
That game,
Yeah, I think so.
14 years old, absolutely.
I think so. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he is one of his kids, so
Mm-hmm.
A little slow.
yeah.
Hey guys, one final thing before I hang up here.
Sure.
I didn't get any new games that I'm super excited about, but what I am excited about is I got the Blood Money expansion from Western Legends.
Ah, okay.
And when I get a chance to get that on the table, hopefully real soon here, I am looking forward to seeing how that plays out.
Carlos has not played that one yet, but that's a great game.
I love Western themes. I have a lot of Western games. That's just one that it was a Kickstarter I didn't get into. And every time I look to buy it, it's just
it's
the
expensive.
dollars are just like, really? But it sounds like we seem to like the same types of games because you're going after these sandbox story. You brought up two.
That's a good one.
Sandbox story type games, and I love that. Merchants and Marauders, right? You're kind of a sandbox, run around, do your thing story
Pirate,
game.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we will next time you get to a Dice Tower convention, or next time I go to see family in Atlanta.
There we go.
I'm gonna reach out to you about getting a game together because I want to get a game at the table with your feet underneath that table.
He likes feet.
That sounds great.
Why you got to make it weird, right?
William.
Yeah. All right, Ron. Thank you so much.
Oh, go ahead.
Thank you. You guys know what? Actually, I have Instagram, so you can find me there.
Oh.
And it's Ron Talks Tabletop.
Ron's. Say that again.
Ron Talks Tabletop.
Ron Talks Tabletop Instagram. I will be following that right now.
Carlos is big onto the Instagram right now. I'm too old for that stuff, but he's all over.
I tried to teach him this week. It was fun to watch. Ron Talks Tabletop. There you are.
Yep.
Hitting follow. You are now at 904 followers.
Nice.
Dang, bro, that's good. All right, folks, check him out. Ron Talks Tabletop on Instagram. That's our buddy Ron Frazier from Atlanta. Have a good night, Ron.
Thanks for calling.
Take care.
See you. Let's see on the chat here.
Chitty chat.
You wanna hit it, Robert? You can see better than me.
I gotta look all the way over there. Which one are you looking at? Wayne says, really want to try GWT.
Great Western Trail.
Great Western Trail. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Although it didn't hit with us the way that we hoped it would, but it was good.
It's still Western themed.
There's a second edition now.
Yeah. Let's see here. What do we got? Think some week topics. We think some weeks topics. Some weeks go with the flow. That says Wayne. So okay, so he's kind of down the middle. He says maybe some weeks we do a topic, maybe every other week. I mean, that could be a thing. A week, every other week we just talk about what we've been up to. Every other week we talk about a particular topic.
We can try that.
Wayne says I might have been lukewarm on the roll and write, but listened anyway. Now I own a few and getting more. Okay, so that's kind of a Mitchell story. Mitchell hadn't played any roll and writes until I'd say probably the last 6 months, and then now he seems to be dipping his toe in there. So Mitchell and Wayne both jumping on the
flip and fill.
The flip and fill.
We got to talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. Mr. Jeeves says, I'm following Ron. Awesome. I'm sure Ron.
I just hit refresh and it says 905.
There you go. There's another one. And Wayne says, I follow Ron on YouTube as well. Good stuff. Does some good RPG talks. Okay. Well, Carlos and
I've tried to get you an RPG.
Yeah, so maybe William, but not me. I'm not.
RPGs
I'm not
for
in the
what
RPGs.
kind? Like video game RPGs?
Caller.
Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Zeno from Spring Hill.
Hey, Brian Zeno, how are you?
Speaking of Zaya,
What's up,
his
guys?
ears were burning.
Yeah,
did he
Brian
win?
Zaya comes up.
Yeah.
I got my butt kicked. I'm bad me.
Who won the game?
I'm already ready for the next round.
Tied.
Oh.
Yeah. Ready for the next round? I'm ready too. Although let's go ahead and jump into Zaya. So let me just. I know you're. If you hold on just 1 minute, I'll throw us into it. So we played Zaya at game day, and when we started out, I was thinking we had maybe a 3 or 4 player game. I guess I should have assumed it was 4. Me, you, Ed, and Kai. And then Max heard that we were going to play Zaya, and he's like, "Oh, what's that? Let me jump in on that." So we ended up with a 5-player game. So. Again, it's been it's been more than that. It's been about 4 years, actually, since I played Zaya. I've only played once before, and so this was my second play. But yeah, it's actually been between 4 and 5 years ago was the first time I played Zaya, so it's been a while. So I did forget how long that game tends to be. The other time I played was a 4-player game, and I recall that took us 3 or 4 hours. And then this one, we were going to play to 15 points. We ended up calling it at 10 because we were, 4.5, 4:45, and they were closing down the game shop, and so we had to wrap it up there. So ended up being
that's why after the game trade, I was like, come on, we got to start. We got to go. Come on.
Yeah.
I knew what was going to happen.
So I love the game. Let me just do my opinion, and then I'll completely turn it over to you, Zeno. But I love the game. I think it's great. I love the sandbox you feel. You can do pick up and deliver. You can be a pirate. You can go after people. You can do. There's all different kinds of things. There's exploration. It really is a 4X game. It really is awesome. I love the space setting. 5 hours, again, we start getting into TI territory, and as everybody here knows, anybody who's listened to the show and everybody sitting around this table, and you, I am not a fan of TI, just because when I get into 4 and 5 hour games, all I end up doing is sitting there thinking about, man, I could have played 3 or 4 other games in the time I'm playing this one game. So I know you're completely the opposite, but let me go ahead and turn it over. So go ahead.
Yeah, you guys have always been the buffet of gaming. I can go a whole day and play a game.
Good term.
And
We're changing the name of the show. It's no longer Beans and Dice. It's Buffet of Gaming.
The game buffet right here.
That's what it is every time. Yeah.
I like having different experiences. I appreciate the setting. Again, I love the space theme. I love all that. I love the open sandbox, but going more than 4 hours on one game is that's really pushing it for me. But again, go ahead and talk about Zaya. I know you enjoy it.
Well, considering I play a lot of TI, 4 hours is nothing.
Yep. I know. Well, how do you compare this to TI? Go ahead.
There was a discussion online about that. What are your thoughts? TI4 versus Zaya.
The way I see it, TI is, a big, giant sector of the galaxy when, Zaya is more like a solar system.
Sure.
You got one sun, you got this and that, there's only so many planets, like 4 or 5 planets, and things like that. So it's more like a system game than a big giant galaxy.
Interesting.
So that's what I think is there's a big difference there.
Okay. And you own everything for Zaya. You've got the all-in. You got it after the Kickstarter for a long time. You can only get, it was only a Kickstarter originally, and then those copies have gotten more and more expensive. I won't disclose how much you paid for yours, but I know you picked it up for a pretty penny with all the expansions fairly recently.
It hurts. It hurt bad. I know, but it's just one of those things. Once I played it,
it hurts.
Over at it hurts. It hurts. But I'm like, I finally played it over at the Escape Wintercon. I was like, oh, I gotta have it. But my problem is I'm not satisfied with the base game. Anytime, you guys know, anytime I buy a game, I gotta buy the expansions because I feel like I'm missing something out of it.
Sure.
It just doesn't.
He's got that FOMO.
It won't click with me any other way.
Yeah, the old FOMO, fear of missing out. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to call it. But no, I like it because it's such an open type of game. I think it's a little bit like Outer Rim. You can decide what you're going to do, this and that.
It's kind of what Ron was saying.
Yeah, it is. It is. But what I like about it, there's actually one point I don't like about it, but I like everything else about it. I like that you can actually go, the type of person you want to be. You can literally be a pirate in that game.
Right.
Or you can just tool around and just try to win just as a transporter. Or you can be a merchant or anything like that. The only one thing I don't like about the game is the ramming mechanic. And the reason why is because my son keeps doing it to everybody.
Say that again. What is the mechanic?
Ramming into the ships. Yeah, instead of shooting at them, you can ram into them.
So it's just like kamikaze.
Yeah, Yeah, and it's considered an attack, and it's as long as you have engine power, you can keep ramming. And the problem is just I think it's a little OP. There's no limit on it. You take all the damage, and then the other person, can take some of the damage. But my son will sit there and just load up on nothing but armor plates and just start hacking at people. It actually makes the weapon systems kind of obsolete because you got so much armor. So I just kind of wish they would have limited that a little bit.
And just his thought process alone affirms my saying that I will play with Kai when he matures to adulthood.
Play the game the way it's meant to be played. Yeah.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
But if I was 13, I'd be ramming everything too.
And you probably were.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So,
oh man, see, you guys say I'm the kid here. I'm like, I'm grown.
It was out there. I had the low-hanging fruit. Yeah.
So that was Zaya.
Yeah.
And in the chat, Ed Ward had a good point, and it listed as cutlery in the chat. He says the difference between TI versus Zaya is like comparing Star Wars Armada to X-Wing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, again, a large system, or a large galaxy versus a system. That's literally what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what you were saying. So, and let me just real quick, getting back to Ron. I mean, he compared it a little bit also to Western Legends, another open sandbox game, and I think they are very similar. In Western Legends, it's the same kind of thing. You're completely open. You can be an outlaw. You can be a cattle rustler. You can be somebody who goes after the people, the bandits. You can be a bank robber.
This is why these games last so long. Merchants and Marauders. We can play for 6 or 8 hours of Merchants and Marauders.
Yeah. See, I don't mind playing games like that when it's that long.
I think of Firefly.
Yes, Firefly is another one. These sandbox games, they can just go on forever because Carlos, we need a Mitchell Prudhomme in the game. Otherwise, I'm not moving towards any end game criteria.
Yeah, just flying around.
I'm just being happy doing my thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be the best merchant out there. Watch me, I'm going to shovel some bananas over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What else did you play?
So.
That was it.
Well, we definitely.
Yeah, that's why I wanted him to say it. That was it. That was the only game we played at the whole game day.
Actually, while we were waiting, we were playing Dune Imperium.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That's another good one. And that's another game that tends to run a little long. Although Dune Imperium is in my top 10 all time right now, so I'm not putting it down. But that is a game that runs long. Every time I sit down to play it, I think, okay, I'm going to knock this out in hour and a half, and it ends up being 2:15ish. But another really good game. I love that game.
Well, I'm dying for the expansion on that. That looks like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, the X expansion.
I think Mitchell got to play it. He talked about it in one of the episodes. One of the ones right after we got back.
He played it over at Dice Tower. Yeah, I think he played with
Tom.
Yeah, Tom Vassell.
Tom said he wanted to glue it to the board.
Yeah, that new expansion board. He just wanted to paste down because it covers up part of the old board, and he's just going to glue it on. He's never going to play without it. So.
That sounds like him.
Awesome! I can't wait.
Yeah, it's supposedly it really affects it's the whole spice trade thing. And I've heard several people. Nick Oben, I played with him at Dice Tower, and Camilla, who's one of the new Dice Tower staff. We played a game of it at the Dice Tower retreat a few weeks back, and Nick was harping at the end of the game about how useless spice was. Well, the expansion makes spice a whole new thing, so it makes it valuable.
Probably integrate it more.
Yeah. So I can't wait to play it together.
Now, that gives me an opportunity, Zeno, to ask you. We are game daying again this Saturday. We're doing twice the monthly game days in the month of December. Are you going to be out at Armada this weekend?
70-30.
70-30.
I wasn't sure if it was this weekend or next weekend.
So okay, it is this Saturday.
Probably. And the only reason why is I got people coming over, getting ready to do it again. We got 35 for TI.
They just did one last weekend.
Yeah, well, if you love it.
I think it's Sunday after game day.
If you love it, put a ring on it.
To tell you the truth, Kai's brother Steven loves the game, which makes Kai love the game more. So out of my house now, I've got 3 automatically.
Yeah, there you go.
And then, like I skipped last week. I'm like, no, was it last week?
We are doing another game exchange. So you folks at home in the Tampa Bay area, we will be at Armada games this weekend.
I can't get lucky twice, bro.
Oh, yeah, you got the number 1 pull last time. So,
and he picked a box set of Great War. So the Command and Colors Great War, which is World War I version, with like 3 expansions and 2 extra boxes.
Some promo cards. And it was the whole thing, yeah.
Oh, dude, I didn't actually realize how many people were gunning for that. I didn't think there were a lot.
Oh yeah, there was about 4 or 5 people who would eyeball
I was
that
gonna
one.
follow you into the parking lot, put my mask on, and blop.
But you, the bad part is Kai's the one who cut the deck, so I had to deal with that. Like,
Oh yeah, he cut it. And
It's almost how Stephen Bonacor wins first at Dice Tower.
Yeah.
But hey, if you folks are in the Tampa Bay area, we'll be at Armada Games. I think Rob will be there sometime in
I'll be
the
open
early
11
afternoon.
11 o'clock probably.
I'm going to be there early.
We're going to do game exchange around 4 o'clock.
I'll be there
So
early.
bring a game, a lightly used
time they
or
open?
new game,
11,
and you
I
get to come into the game exchange.
I'll be there by noon.
Yeah.
I hope
I'll probably end up being there. Yeah.
Cool.
Hope to see you, man.
Look forward to seeing you.
The Great War. Does somebody want to play it? To show me how to play.
You can bring it and put it back on the exchange.
if you want to bring it, I'll be glad to
no.
teach you. It's Command and Colors. I've got them all except for Great War.
Well, everything I read about Great War, it literally puts all the new stuff into that game.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
progressively
they
got
all
better
the
and better and better.
Yeah.
Each one has gotten better and better and better. You're going to love, if you like Great War, you're going to love Red Alert. William introduced me to it, which is their space version.
Space-based, yeah.
Great War is a little bit different, though.
Actually, I have seen it, the big fleet thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really inquiring about buying that whole giant set, but I know me, I have to buy the set. So I'm like, okay, let's wait till after New Year.
All right, Zeno, great talking to you, man. I'll hopefully see you this weekend.
Yep. All right. Talk to you guys later. See ya.
All right, let's run through the comments here. We got
Got one you saw that caught your eye, but go ahead and go through them, yeah.
yeah, right off the bat. So Cutlery talked about the description. Ron Frazier says 3 players or bust for Zaya. Too much downtime otherwise.
And that, just touch on that. I won't go into depth, but I know I'd ramble on a bit. But yeah, that was my problem, is that with 5 players, again, we got to almost 5 hours, and we had only gotten to 2/3 of the way of where we expected
Literally,
to, so.
Max came out and watched the Christmas parade with me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
In between turns.
Yeah.
We watched Santa come by in a fire truck in the Christmas
I
parade
walked over
in between turns.
I came over in between my turns and watched y'all play the new Transformers deck building game, and I spent at least 20 minutes at your table, and I went back, and only 2 people had taken their turn. So yeah, it's crazy downtime. No more than 3.
Because it gets when that universe gets expanded, there's a lot more decisions.
Here's my man Mitchell with games are not for having fun. They are for pushing the end game.
Yeah. There you go. That's Mitchell.
Wayne Kruger says that is the RPG player in your coming out, Carlos.
Yeah.
He's always been in here. D&D was my first love.
Yeah.
I just can't find friends. Robert,
Not for me.
that
No,
gets to
not
play.
for me.
No, because that D&D has theme.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Too much imagination in that.
Ron Frazier says you have to be sold on theme to enjoy a long-running sandbox game. The Western, the Pirate, and Star Wars.
I do like theme.
Those
there.
will get me in.
I can do theme there. Yeah.
And Evan Halbert.
Evan Albert.
Yeah, seriously. Designer of right here behind me, over my head. After the Empire. Evan, thanks for jumping in the chat.
Yeah, very cool.
It says, I haven't had a chance to play Rise of Ix.
I watched it. I haven't played it yet. I can't wait. But I've actually watched 2 games with it integrated. So yeah, I can't wait to jump into one. Yep.
Let's see here. Mitchell's asking him about how after the Empire's expansion is coming along. Let's see if we just jump down that.
Want to see if he answers that?
He says, good. It's over at Gray Fox, and they're doing play testing and stuff. Really excited for that to happen. I'm
cool.
excited for the After the Empire expansion. Let's see. Yeah, Knights. I think that's the piece that has me the most excited is when he talks about Knights.
Cutlery says already sleeved it. What was he talking about there?
Rise of Ix.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Because he's done a lot of Kickstarters, and he's offered Robert to come over any weekend.
Yeah, very cool.
Bring all those Kickstarters over, and we can play games on stream.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah.
So,
I'm all in for that.
Tortuga. He's got Tortuga.
Yeah.
He's got Rise of Ix. So we need to...
Yeah, 4 of us.
I know with the new baby, I've had to kind of like tamp things down, but the baby, we're starting to get into a rhythm at home, and we're actually getting sleep at night. So we're gonna have to get Tortuga to the table for the folks to watch us play.
Yeah, cool.
Let's see.
Mitchell says Rise of Ix was very cool. One of his favorites. Yep.
Mitchell's excited about the Knights. Rise of Ix. He got the shipping track. The new shipping track was his favorite.
Yeah, that's that new board that you want to just paste on, according to Tom.
Evan says he misses D&D a lot. And he got the deluxe upgrade pack for Dune, though.
I was gonna say I keep eyeballing that.
awesome.
It's like $75, and I'm like, just for upgraded pieces.
And the box is like that.
Yeah, it's huge.
It makes it like Descent level size.
Minis and all kinds of upgraded stuff. I keep looking. Actually, I looked at it yesterday.
Yeah, but if it's a game, game you like,
put it on your Christmas list.
Maybe it's a Christmas thing. Yeah.
Tell everyone to just pitch in for it.
Yeah, everybody give me $10. Yeah.
No.
Oh, well,
No. Oh, here Wayne Kruger says more than just D&D. Also, love to get in some Seventh Seas. Not familiar. Deadlands. Am familiar. That's the Western Weird West thing. I love it. And then about to try out the Avatar RPG.
Don't know anything
So the question becomes: are we talking about like Earth, Fire, Water Avatar, or are we talking about like blue people running around, Last of the Mohicans, dances with wolves?
Animated, although they're both animated, I guess, to some extent.
You know what? I almost got it at Gen Con because I saw people talking about it, and I love the universe, the Alien RPG.
Okay, yeah, they got an RPG for everything now.
Well, no, this one, like, when I was with there and I saw stuff about it, so people discussing, talking, I was like, okay, so what? Am I always going to fight aliens? He goes, no. He goes, sometimes it's just about surviving on a ship in space, and, because it's in a universe. He goes, they said, like, depending on how the game goes, you can write the game to where it rarely happens. You have to encounter aliens, or you can make an entire campaign where that happens. But it literally will feel more like they said, like the first movie.
Okay.
The first movie where there was one alien, but you could have, they could have
avoided it.
They could have avoided it. Yes, that's what it was. So I was like, oh, that's. So
and there was a lot of interpersonal interaction in that movie,
and that's what it was like. Oh, that's pretty cool. So it was, and there's dice in it. There's certain dice mechanics to it and everything. It's just like RPG, but I wanted to just get it because the artwork on the books were awesome. But I need a good group. I need some better friends.
You just need an RPG group. You can have your own.
But it can't be a campaign group. It's got to be like a session group.
I don't mind.
Right. I used to DM Dungeons and Dragons back at Anthem Games off of Ehrlich Road, and I would do their D&D Encounters Day. So Wizards of the Coast used to have this thing called D&D Encounters, where they would publish a one-shot encounter. And they would provide it to the shop. Each month, they'd give them 4 encounters with everything you needed. All the tiles, all the markers, the counters to represent the bad guys, and the story.
You never done a campaign?
I have done a campaign.
Okay. Because I was going to reach over there and slap you.
One in my life. Just one.
That's it?
That's it.
Well, I don't mind if you see another group. Just no kissing on the lips. But other than that, we're okay. We're good.
Sad, folks. Sad.
And Wayne jumped in. I missed it there. He said Last Airbender was it. He said Wayne Kruger said he was all in on the Kickstarter for that one. So yeah.
Oh, the Avatar: The Last Airbender. Oh, okay. So
Last
that universe.
Airbender, yeah. That's what I said. Yeah.
That's the RPG. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the new RPG. So.
I don't know. I would like to be a Jake Sully. I'd like to look in William's eyes across the table in an RPG and say, "Look at me. Look. I see you."
Ron says he can talk RPGs! Exclamation point. So
supposedly that's his thing, right?
He's your RPG guy.
On Instagram.
Is it? Oh,
Ron talks tabletop.
Oh,
that's his thing. RPGs.
Meet us after the show, Ron. We'll leave Rob out of it. It'll be fine.
No, I feel like
good. I'm good with that.
We gotta find an excuse for a road trip to Atlanta. Have Ron run a game for us.
Not an RPG, but
an RPG, like literally an RPG.
I'll stay home on that trip. Yeah.
All the old Palladium books. I'm sure Ron knows what I'm talking about. The old Palladium books. So they had all those stuff. They had the Ninja Turtles RPG, and that it was written by the same company. They had Robotech. They had Aliens. They had all this crazy Universal stuff in those books, man.
I gotta answer that one, Robert.
Yeah. So you need to jump in on that one. Yeah.
I see Blood Rage and Ankh behind you, but no Rising Sun. This is Jason Pregartner.
Pregartner? Yeah.
First time commenter, I think. I'm not familiar with that name. Yeah. Thank you, Jason, for commenting. Does it not rate as well with you compared to the other two? Jason, I'm going to tell you, I am a...
Mitchell.
Rising Sun is definitely the worst of the 3, in my opinion.
I don't know.
Well, stop.
Now, go ahead.
I'm going to talk my opinion.
Yeah,
Jason asked me.
I just said, huh. Okay, but go ahead. Yeah.
I'm a huge Eric Lang fan. I'm talking about Eric Lang, throwback Eric Lang, before you knew who Eric Lang was.
We've met him, yeah.
Like FFG's Warhammer card game, Warhammer Invasion card game, right? That was Eric Lang. Nobody knew that back then, but his mechanics are so great.
Yeah.
I just could not get into Rising Sun.
You only tried it once, though, right?
It was once.
One time.
But it was enough to say that, like, and then it was a Kickstarter. It was expensive to find.
We played with 7 people, I think, or something crazy like that.
It was an odd number.
Yeah.
Because I remember when we paired up, I got left out a few times.
Either 5 or 7.
I did feel a little hurt.
It was a big game.
I got a little hurt being left out into the where people paired up. That kind of hurt. It does. And it just left me with a tough spot.
It's definitely a different game. I think a lot of people, when Blood Rage and then that came out afterwards, people thought it was going to be somewhat in the same vein, and it was a complete 180 from Blood Rage. It's about making friends. There's war, obviously. The main thrust of it is battle and area control. But it was a very different game than Blood Rage. But yeah, I liked it. I didn't love it the first time I played it. I played it, I think, 3 times now. I haven't played Ankh yet, and you haven't played Ankh yet either, have you?
No, but I want to play a 2-player.
Yeah, we got to try that. Yeah.
So that one stands out to me as a 2-player game. But everything else Eric Lang has done, I've loved.
Yeah.
I just haven't
caught on to that.
Rising Sun, I played it. I played it.
Yeah, okay. Good enough.
Let's see. Cutlery says USS Freedom from Dreamcraft Games is getting packaged right now for shipment. Mitchell says Ankh is best at 3. I don't know if I want to go 3.
Well, you got to do the
I don't
merge.
know. I don't want to merge.
Well, you got to merge.
Do not have
you got to try the merge. I mean, that's what the game is all about.
I don't want to merge. I do not have the urge to merge.
No
I
merge
just
to
don't.
merge, yeah.
I did.
We got to try with 3. The 3 of us got to play it, and we got to report back then.
No, because what's going to happen is like, why are you merging with him, man?
I hated the merge.
I just
gonna merge.
I don't know.
You know what? If I have to merge with him, I'm just not going to do it.
That's the problem. Like, I can't control.
2 of you can't merge.
Who I'm going to merge with.
2 of you can't merge.
No.
That would be ugly.
That's right. So Mitchell says 3 is best. The merge is the best. I just don't know if I'm not ready for that.
What Laura? Who's this Laura? What'd she say? FOV.
Oh, Jason says his family is also up for Ankh as the best.
Okay.
Wow.
I've heard people say that. I've heard people say that Ankh is their favorite of all 3. Actually, I've seen that more and more lately. Yeah.
And I still remember Blood Rage, Robert, when it came out. You and I played.
Oh yeah, we played.
The kids and the wives were out of town or something. I don't remember.
We played.
It was just you and me
in one day
for like 7 hours straight. We played back-to-back games, and I had just moved into the house, so I had like no real furniture here.
Yeah, we were sitting on the couch out there just playing Blood Rage
on
a
a plastic table.
Yeah, on a TV dinner table. What do you call those? TV stand.
You poor souls.
And still continue to love playing that game.
Yeah, that's a great game. I'll play that anytime. Yeah. And we got just repeat the 813-618-7099.
Oh yeah,
we got enough time for one more call if somebody wants to call in.
I think they actually like hearing us banter about stuff.
Wayne says Carlos is his own man. If he loses, he wants to go down in flames. Amen.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna lose, I don't want that man
on your own.
That's like a
not that guy.
Like a three-legged race attached to William. You really want to be a part of that?
I know you don't.
I've seen you with a Charlie horse.
Yeah. Look, don't get upset that you know it's like Clash of Cultures. You were gonna win. You were gonna do good, and then you attacked me, and then you came into my zone, and that was it. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you went from second to third really fast.
And it's okay. It's on my terms. I wasn't tied to anyone
because I started stomping you to the ground.
Do we want to run down real quick what we played? I mean, that was
I think we caught up on the chat. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. The purpose here was to kind of go over what we've done in the last couple
I guess
weeks.
Let's talk about, so we had the game day, the big game day, the holiday game day. Let's focus on that.
We got about 5 minutes.
And I will say the best game that I played that day had to be Seven Wonders Architects.
Okay.
Seven Wonders Architects, which I've asked my wife to pick up for me for Christmas. Apparently Armada.
I just can't.
There's yes.
If I look at that game, it's like
there's Armada Games wasn't able to procure me a copy. Apparently Asmodee is out of stock.
Yeah, it was popular.
Right, like it hit fast, but it's a $50 children family game.
Yeah, I think we're at the holidays. People know they've got family coming into town.
That's a little pricey for that game.
Yeah,
there's nothing but cards and cards.
I
didn't get to play it, so
that's it.
I was busy with Zai at that moment.
I mean, there's nothing bad about it, but
it's a fast play, quick decisions, Civ Builder flavored game that I really want to play with family and friends who are not gamers.
And you know what? That game, you had quite a few. You looks like you need to play with a lot of people.
But I think you could play it with less and be fine.
I don't know. It looks like something that you need to play with at least 4.
But it's a beautiful game. Seven Wonders Architects. I thought originally I ignored it every time I saw something about it or heard about it. Completely ignored it. thinking it was an expansion or a spin-off of just Seven Wonders, didn't realize that this is going to be for me the family or intro gamer go-to game. This is going to replace Ticket to Ride. The decisions are so fast and easy. Raph says it exceeded all his expectations in the chat.
Okay.
So to me, that just stands out.
There's something to it. I have mentioned to you that I have heard in the gaming community that a lot of people are disappointed about how light it is. I don't know what people's expectations were, but supposedly a lot of people have picked it up and then been like, oh, okay.
Well, you see the name Architects and you expect this isn't going to be expansion. It's going to expand. That's what I thought. That's why I ignored it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't expand. It contracts.
It's a whole new game, yeah.
And it gives you a game that you can play with your kids, with your wives, with your neighbors who aren't gamers. That's still a good game with 3 decisions to make each round. You have a decision, you pick from one pile, that pile, or the other pile. So it's not drafting where you're looking at 7, 8 things trying to make a decision. And only 2 of the 3, Robert, can you see? You can only see 2 of the 3.
Okay.
I guess if you guys don't know about Seven Wonders Architects, in the game of Seven Wonder Architects, you're racing to build your 7th wonder, your wonder. Everybody gets a different wonder. William might have the Hanging Gardens, and I've got the Colossus, the big guy that stands there. It's got a huge cod piece. It's really weird. really weird.
He can't help. He's like
Yeah.
cod piece.
And on your turn, you've got a deck to your left, which is your deck. You bring a deck for your faction on your left. So it's asymmetric, built for that faction. For example, I was the Colossus. That faction was focused on military. So that deck had more military in it than any other deck. Then you got a deck to your right, which is your player to your right's deck, right, which is built to their symmetry. Then there's a pile in the middle that's face down, and it's got all different types of stuff. What's in the decks? The decks include resources of all different types, and they include military cards, which provide military power, as well as horns, which can call war to happen. And on your turn, you're going to pick one of the 3 decks. You're going to grab that card and flip it in front of you. And then you're going to use those resources and things in front of you to build up that Colossus. And as you build that Colossus, you get to take extra actions. Your wonder, you get to take extra actions as you build different levels. And Rob, you have to start from the bottom and work your way up, because it's like a pyramid, right? So you got a cardboard piece, and you got to build that level. Then you have to build the next level and the next level until you get to the top of your level. It was fun. It was
okay. All right, I'll have to try it.
I'm excited.
I definitely want to play it. I like the other Seven Wonders
and
games,
I don't want to hear the garbage about, it was way lighter than I expected. Folks, we need some really good entry-level games in the game community. How else are we going to bring them in? Some games just have too many decisions. I taught my son, Robert, I taught you Trails.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, what rate? Give me the complexity rating you'd give it.
It's pretty light. 2 point something low, 2.1 maybe. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He told me, Bobby, I don't know. There's too many decisions here.
Yeah.
Right? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, we need some games that get lower and lower and lower in complexity, but still are strong games.
Yeah,
I'm off my high horse. Back to you, Robert.
Okay, well, I can agree to that to some extent. We've got some good entry level games out there, but it never hurts to have more. So
I need great entry level games.
Let me just real quick. Again, we're running a little slim on time. We can go a little over here, but Xayah, I would say, was the best game. I only played 2 games because I played 5 hours of Xayah almost. But Xayah was the best game I played. Although I did play for the first time the Taverns of Tiefenthal, and I enjoyed that one. That's a game that seemed to come and go pretty quick. There was a lot of chatter about it when it first came out, about a year ago, and then it seemed to just completely disappear, and so I hadn't heard much about it. And our friends Raphael and Rachel picked up a copy of it, and I got to play that Saturday. It was the first game I played. It's the only other game I played at Saturday's game day, but that one was really enjoyable. I really like it. I want to try it again. It's real simple. I mean, you talk about entry-level games. I mean, this is a pretty entry-level game. You only have a couple decisions to make. You're rolling some dice. There's a dice drafting round where you're drafting these 4 dice, and you take one, you pass, you take one, pass, and then you end up with dice, and then you just assign them on your board. There's different numbers. You can put the 4s here, the 5s there. You can serve some beers. You can store some money, and then you buy at the end after you placed all your dice. You cash in all the money. The patrons you've served give you money. You can cash those in for 1 row of cards, or any beers that you've stored up. You can cash those in for new patrons to come in future rounds. They go into your deck. It's a deck building, dice drafting game. real light, real quick, but I enjoyed it. It wasn't, it didn't completely blow me away, but it's one I would think about putting in my collection. It's a pretty solid game. So I really enjoyed Taverns of Tiefenthal. Yeah, it was good. You need to try it out. You haven't had a chance to play it yet, I don't think.
Yeah, that one fell off the radar for a little bit.
Yeah, it completely disappeared. I haven't heard anything about it for a while, but I liked it. I could see why it would disappear. I mean, after probably 5 or 6 or 7 plays, it might get a little samey without an expansion or something, but I liked it. It was good. But how about you?
What was your game of the game day?
Honestly, it was Grizzled.
Grizzled. Wow.
Why?
Okay.
Because
we won.
Oh, you won.
But who's the we? Because I wasn't a part of that.
Yeah,
we.
that's huge.
It was me, Nick, and Laurel.
Okay.
I mean, we won like the first time around. It was literally like every decision we made was the most impactful decision.
Oh, so you didn't win the game. You won the first round.
No. We won the whole game. Like, it was literally like
that game kicks you in the teeth.
It was like, oh my God, that something's gonna happen to Laurel, and there was like, okay, let's, you do that little speech things like, let's get rid of, Rain. All her cards went away. Like her last card's Rain. I'm like, awesome. And then we can withdraw. It was literally just got that. I even came to the point where we got one point was lucky because I think one of us had the hard knock where when you go to withdraw, you have to randomly take your token and just put it there.
No.
Right? And it went to the person we needed to help.
That's super.
So
I
you
was
got
like,
some luck.
Oh my God. Because that was pretty fun. But
this game kicks you in the teeth. If anybody hasn't played this, I mean, this is it's mostly just a deck of cards.
I gave that one away.
Yeah, there's a handful of chits, but
that was what we played.
This is one of those games.
My copy that I gave away?
Yeah,
You're
we
just
won.
constantly trying to fight off the negative. Yeah.
No, but we played that, But like I said, I get to play a lot either that day. It was just really there.
No, I just that game beats me up way too much.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
It's yeah.
Well, let's wrap by finishing up the comments in the board, and then after this, I think we're gonna do a in our Discord, in the Beans and Dice Discord,
online play.
We're gonna do a online play together of Welcome to Your Perfect Home. And we're going to play the zombie version. So if you're in the Discord group and you want to play the Welcome to, all you got to do is download the Welcome to app, the score sheet app.
I sleep when I go home.
We game.
Yeah, we game while
focused
you're
on
sleeping.
gaming.
Really, yeah. Those who wake up real early.
Let's see here. Seven Wonders was a pleasant surprise. Yep. Evan Halbert says, yep, great gateway game. That comes from designer Evan Halbert.
Yeah, Seven Wonders, I would consider that a gateway game. Yeah.
Let's see. I need to get a 3D print of that cat statue, says Diego.
Oh, yeah, they're from the architects.
In the Seven Wonders Architect, it comes with a cat feature, which we were doing wrong. Apparently, if you have the cat statue in front of you, when you before you pick a card, you can look at the first card of the center deck.
Oh, wow.
The cat gives you the ability to peek at that deck. So now I see why it moves around so much. I was wondering, why does it move around so much? It's not just extra points.
Raphael says some of the science stuff was OP.
Well, that's because his wife was going after it. He was all upset.
Oh, that's an internal thing. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Let's see. Okay, so Evan's not going to PAX. He got to go hang out at BGG Con. That's right, because BGG Con just happened and PAX is happening this week. Evan says the cat statue is awesome. We just had the cutout. And then Mitchell says, did you get rid of all your hot garbage games from the retreat?
Yeah, we didn't talk too much about that. I was going to say, if we had a little more time, I was going to talk. But we, just real quick, we did the game exchange. We've been talking about this game exchange. We did it based on our experience at the Dice Tower retreat, which was everybody brought a light. At Dice Tower retreat, it was either in shrink, a rare game, or an expensive game. We altered that a little bit to say lightly used games. Anybody who had a game that they just wanted to find a new home, you bring a game, you put it on the table. Nothing's wrapped, nothing's secret. You just put it out there. We put everybody's names into a hat, and we drew names. Carlos wanted to up the ante a little bit, so
we did a white elephant last time.
Yeah,
and this year we did it like the Dice Tower.
Right. And so at the Dice Tower, Tom Vessel brought a box of, or several boxes of about, I think it was about 150 games that he was just getting rid of. So he put those out there. And so we did the same thing. We being mostly Carlos, he brought about 40 games from his collection that he put into it. And what that allowed us to do is we drew all the names out of a hat. The person who went first went last. And what we did is we snaked. We went all the way from 1 to 20. And then once we hit 20, whoever was 20 got to go again. So they got to pick 2 games back to back. And then we snaked back up to 1. At the very end, we had a handful of games left. And so we made some stacks. And then we drew, I think it was 4 more names. And each person got to grab a stack of about 10 to 15 more games. There were some, little light pocket games and things that we stacked up.
I gave Dan like 10 games.
Yeah, and so
because I won one of those stacks.
I know Dan, the host over at Your Turn, he over in Zephyr Hills, he threw in about 4 or 5 games. I brought was 6 games. There was a couple good ones. I'll admit, I told people up front there was a couple garbage games I threw out there, which I was helping the cause, and we had some people who came that showed up without a game, and we allowed them to jump in anyway because we had plenty of games. So I think Jim said he only owned 4 games in his whole collection. So I was like,
he walked away with 2 nice ones.
Yeah, and so it gave everybody a chance to kind of cycle some games. I picked up a couple of good games, and so I think everybody was pleasantly surprised. Everybody was happy with what they came away with, but it was a good time. We're going to do that again at Armada this weekend on Saturday, about 4:00 p.m. if you're in the area. Bring a lightly used game. A game in Shrink is fine, of course. And then we're going to just lay them out all on the table. We're going to throw everybody's name in a hat again and just kind of go through. And Carlos saved some of the games. We didn't get rid of all the games.
Yeah, I still have a big bag full of games. Good ones, too. I saved some good ones.
Yep.
And I got some RPGs in there. So I got some role-playing games.
Star Wars in there. Yeah, so we're going to have all that at Armada this weekend. Everybody will probably, if you bring a game, you probably will go home with, I would say, at least 2 probably. And so, looking forward to that. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yep. So on that note, that's going to wrap up our show for the night. Great show tonight. We had a lot of fun, I think we peaked at like 14 or 13 consecutive viewers at one time.
Sweet, nice.
That's pretty nice.
Okay, it's lots of fun. Yeah,
but we had I think 30 views. So
cool.
That's a lot of folks popping in to say hi.
We weren't on schedule.
Yeah.
See? No, we were on time.
We were on time.
We're not like.
We didn't have a topic.
Yeah.
Well, in comment if you want to leave it in the chat, leave it in the chat. Leave it on the YouTube down below. Let us know if you prefer us to have a chat.
No.
If you maybe like this idea of us going back and forth every other week, we want to hear what you guys would like to see because that's what we want to do.
Folks, you want to see me throw dice again and have Rob fill stuff? Yes. Just vote for that.
And look for us on the podcast. Carlos is going to be posting up a lot of these on the podcast. I don't know if we've been real consistent with that. I was actually checking the
I'm trying to get better at it.
Okay, there
I'm
we
trying
go.
to get better at it.
Yeah.
I want to record actual podcasts separate from this for the podcast.
And hopefully before long, we'll do some live playthroughs. We'll put up some other content. But this is our focus right now is every Thursday night. We want to be real consistent. We haven't missed a Thursday night
and just chat with you all about games.
Over a year now. So, yeah. Well, we appreciate you watching. That's Carlos.
That is William, and he's best known for me just saying his name right now.
Yeah.
Yay.
And I'm Rob.
And we're the Beans and Dice podcast. A podcast about
how we game. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.